Woody the Bull is probably little to do with the fact that South Florida had won 17 of their last 20 games at Raymond James Stadium. Then again, you can't be too sure, so why mess with tradition?
South Florida! South Florida! Go!
There's an old cliche in football that says you improve most from game 1 to game 2, and the South Florida Bulls would live up to that. They were more than ready to take a step forward after their opening win over Elon. They would put on a show for a national TV audience that the fans in South Florida are lucky enough to see in person every week. While USF may be the relative new kids on the block, they were amped up with old school attitude for a visit from the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets of the ACC.
First meeting between these two programs. Georgia Tech has been around for 126 years, South Florida for 22.
But Charlie Strong's team was focused only on the present and making their own history.
Barnett announced as the starter 10 days ago after Charlie Strong pulled every member of his defensive staff. First run of the game belongs to Jordan Cronkrite. The transfer from Florida picks up 14, his first carry as a Bull.
One thing good teams can do is overcome adversity. It can strike at any time during a game or between games. And the Bulls faced some in the first minute when Blake Barnett was intercepted. The swarming Yellow Jackets had the ball at their own 43, but defensive coordinator Brian Jean-Marie leads a disciplined group that does not panic. They dug in and settled everything down.
Swallowed up. Charlie Strong's defense, rock solid.
Georgia Tech would take the early lead with a field goal in a game that would feature 9 lead changes. And the first happened on the very next play, as a former Florida high school state track champion showed some freshman lightning.
He's going to come to Horn again, heading toward the sideline. Be careful, makes the catch at the 2, stays in bounds, makes a nice move into the secondary. Here he goes, Terrence Horn.
Horn is another homegrown Florida product. He was the state 100-meter champion at Miramar High School, and he looked good in the 98-yard event carrying a football as well, electrifying the Ray J crowd and putting the Bulls ahead 7-3. But Georgia Tech would bite back.
Counter play here. Marshall with a good cutback. And Taquan Marshall to the edge towards the pylon. And he is in for a touchdown.
The first Georgia Tech lead lasted 12 seconds. Their second lead lasted 14 seconds, as once again the Bulls would take the game by the horn.
Kickoff comes down to Terrence Horn once again at the 2-yard line, and he's got open field again. 25-30, 35-40.
There goes Terrence Horn again. Track speed. Down the sideline, he's done it again!
Touchdown Bulls!
You have got to be kidding me.
All kidding aside, Horn tied an NCAA record with his second kickoff return touchdown, setting school and conference records. He was on his way to being named the American Conference Special Teams Player of the Week.
Over the top, Clinton Lynch. Who loves some points?
This was a shootout in the sun, although things grew more defensive in the second quarter.
And he will get shut down. Khalid McGee moving from safety to linebacker late last season. Good catch made by Mitchell Wilcox for a first down. Excellent tight end.
The Bulls were on the move again. Blake Barnett headed to the conference honor roll for the second straight week, using his arm and legs to move the green and gold.
Barnett out of the pocket with a shifty maneuver, has the first down inside the Georgia Tech 40-yard line. Picks up 13, Q.
After 31 first quarter points went on the board combined, South Florida got the only score of the second quarter.
Darnell Solomon gets to the end zone. Barnett with another touchdown pass. First offensive points for the Bulls today.
Talked about the size of these receivers. He's 6'3", 215. They've got great speed. And he's just too quick for an inexperienced secondary.
Football is about adjustments, and after Georgia Tech scored on their first 3 possessions, the Bulls' defense slammed the door.
Marshall hit from behind by Kevin Kegler.
Kegler's first sack of the season and the second of his career came on 4th down, stopping yet another Yellow Jacket threat. They would have one more chance to try to grab the lead back from the Bulls before halftime.
Marshall Looking deep, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ronnie Hoggins. 6th career interception.
Hoggins also led the Bulls with 10 tackles. Tech grabbed the lead in the third quarter. Again, the Bulls answered quickly, although not with a kick return.
There is Bell, straight up the gut. First career touchdown for Duran Bell.
The 6th lead change of the afternoon made it 28-24 South Florida, and the two sides kept swinging like boxers looking for a knockout blow.
Oliver hit hard. Ronnie Hoggins.
It looked like Tech might have that knockout punch when they scored the next 2 touchdowns, but there was no quit in the stands or on the field despite the Bulls trailing by 10.
Quick throw to the outside for Horn. Touchdown, Terrence Horn. How about this from the freshman? His 3rd score of the day. With time dwindling and Georgia Tech threatening again, the Bulls' refused to lose attitude produced a huge turnover. 3rd and 3. Toss play. Lost the football. South Florida's got it. Nico Sawtell on top of it.
The Bulls force a turnover. Nico Sawtell fell on it. Bulls football.
Barnett keeps. Has it Ollie. Bulls take the lead. Blake Barnett puts them in front.
Down by 10 in the fourth quarter, the Bulls had now grabbed the 4-point lead in front of an ecstatic sea of green and gold. Now it was up to the defense. Was there any doubt?
That ball fluttering, intercepted! Nico Sawtell with another big play for the Bulls defense.
Linebacker Nico Sawtell led a clutch defense with 2 fourth-quarter turnovers that led to 3 unanswered South Florida touchdowns.
2nd interception of the day. Barnett. Exclamation point, Blake Barnett.
Barnett's touchdown sealed a win over Georgia Tech in the first ever game between the two, but it was South Florida's 4th straight win against a Power 5 conference team.
Another win for the Bulls, baby. It's what we do.
That is what they do, 23-4 over the last 3 seasons.
Go Bulls, baby. South Florida, baby. Best place to be at.